All right, welcome back to the podcast. Appreciate you finding us. We just went to Gainesville to get a little background on the Florida coaching situation. Now we are going to come back here to the state of Florida, Tampa, where the all the news is about not what's going on off the field, but what's going on the field. The 6-1 USF Bulls have a big showdown up in Memphis this week against the Memphis Tigers for the lead potentially in the American Athletic Conference, a kind of a playoff eliminator type of game. No better person to talk to than somebody who will be in the building in Memphis on Saturday, part of the USF Bulls radio network, Mr. Joey Johnston. Welcome in, Joey.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, so 6-1 heading into Memphis, potentially playing the Memphis without maybe their starting quarterback. We don't know the status of their starting quarterback. Give us a little sense of those of the fans that maybe haven't followed the Bulls through these first 7 weeks. Obviously, we know the Florida game, the big win at Florida, then the Miami loss. Give us a sense where this USF team has gone the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's in a great place, Jason. They're probably playing their best ball that they have, not only this season, but many seasons, playing well on both sides of the ball. They're leading the nation in turnovers with 17. They're also operating at a very efficient clip on offense. They've had some injuries. They have a couple of guys down, running backs and wide receivers, but they continue to churn out the yards. They've been scoring like nobody's business the last 4 weeks during a four-game winning streak. Last week, for example, they beat Florida Atlantic 48-13 and rolled up 522 yards, and it just seemed very routine to get in that 500, 600-yard range, which is what's going on with them. Byron Brown is playing his best ball of his career, the quarterback. He's going to have big numbers. He stays healthy and continues this pace. And the biggest thing, especially on offense, I would say, is there's tremendous depth at the skill positions. Certainly some luminaries, some older guys, but man, they're getting some great play from freshmen, and not only in the backfield, but at the receiving core. So Byram has never had this many weapons before, and they've got a couple of guys down, but he still has a plethora of weapons. So really the best of times for the Bulls, and they seek to keep it going at Memphis, which is a place they've always had a little trouble winning at.
Yeah, again, you mentioned the American Conference and Byron Brown. Talk about for me, the defense has been so much more consistent this year as in years past. They're not getting gouged and gashed on defense. They're giving up a few points here and there, but they're not getting. They're years past they were giving up 35 to 45 most every week. Much more consistent, much more disciplined with Todd Orlando's defense.
Yeah, and that was the thing from the get-go that we noticed from in the opener against Boise State was how well the defense played, and that has, for the most part, carried on throughout. They had some struggles, obviously, at Miami with the Hurricanes putting up a lot of points, gaining a lot of yards, but other than that, the defense has really been consistent with its ability to keep games manageable, to play well in the red zone, and to take the ball away. The biggest thing, like I said, 17 turnovers leads the country, and they've got this unit that everybody's flying to the ball. You got a lot of guys around the ball all the time, and they're not putting great pressure on the quarterback, but they've improved there. They're getting to the pocket and getting some sacks. Would like to do it more than they have, but at least they've gotten better, and they are getting a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of turnovers, as we said. So a lot of categories that are very, very positive defensively, and that even with the high flying offense, I'd say that the way the defense has played, it's probably been the biggest story of the year.
No, I agree. I think the defensive effort is we always know Byram can churn up some yards, but that defense is really all right. Let's go to the game Saturday. Obviously, we don't know the QB situation at Memphis. We saw Memphis lose at UAB in a kind of pretty good upset last week. So they'll be focused and dialed in no matter who the quarterback is. Give me a key or two and what's been USF's issues when they played at Memphis in years past.
Their issues has really been giving up too many points and too many yards. I mean, 2 years ago, the score was 59-50. The Bulls scored 50 points and lost. So you don't see that happen very often, but it happened that day, and they gave up upwards of 600 yards that day. And I know there was a critical point in the game 2 years ago on a third down situation where I think they gave up a touchdown screen pass of 80 plus yards. I mean, that was,
Right.
ridiculous to happen in that situation. So, the Bulls last won in the Liberty Bowl in 2016. They haven't played every year, but they haven't won since 2016. That was when Quentin Flowers was the quarterback.
Right.
So the number one thing is to deal with this Memphis offense. Obviously, you touched on it. Brendan Lewis, their starter, was dinged, and we're not sure if he's going to play. But they have a freshman, A.J. Hill, who's a big-time freshman, a four-star guy from Warner Robins, Georgia. That's very, very good. Alex Golesh knows him well. He was recruited by everybody in the South, so he's a great player, but just not an experienced player. He just played for the first time last week against UAB. So we're not going to know who the quarterback is probably till the day of game. But either way, that doesn't change the fact that Memphis is also very good at running the ball. I think they're 20th nationally. They've got two, maybe three guys that can really tote it very well. So, it's like the same key every week. You got to stop the run and then put pressure on the quarterback. Here again, that's the same thing the Bulls have got to do in this game. And if they can do that effectively, then I think they have a great chance to win.
All right, we've all talked. I mean, obviously, we've been highlighting this game since the Miami game that if they take care of business, this is the next step in the ladder here.
Yeah,
A lot of national attention on this game. Potentially, game day would have been there had Memphis not lost.
yeah.
How do you think Alex Golesh, the coaching staff, and the program is handling? They all know what's at stake. They win this game, then they know what's next.
Yep.
Potentially on the rung. How on the inside there? How are they handling the expectations?
Well, the way they're handling it is the same way they handle it every week. It's always the biggest game is the next game, and this is the next game, and they don't want to make it too big, but certainly everybody that follows this knows this is a critical one, and it's changed slightly with Memphis losing. Probably more pressure on Memphis. If Memphis goes down again, then they're really up against it. They still have Tulane and Navy on their schedule, so that they may be cooked if they can't beat USF. The other end of it is it's a very competitive American Conference race. Navy is still undefeated. They're in there. Tulane is still undefeated in the league,
Right.
and they're not on USF's regular season schedule. So there's still a lot of things to be solved. But if USF can just continue to win every week, they'll be where they need to be. Again, moving forward on November 15th, they have the road game at Navy. That figures to be even more of a mammoth matchup.
Right.
And I know Navy's got Notre Dame and maybe some others on their schedule. I don't know if they'll be able to be undefeated all the way till November 15th, but it's going to be a big one. And again, it's at Navy. It's in the middle of November. Who knows what the weather's going to be like? So, but again, Alex Golesh is not thinking like this. He's thinking all about Memphis, getting it done against Memphis. And the fact that Memphis lost to UAB, it doesn't change the fact they're still a really good team. And they've got great players, and they beat Arkansas. They're a very worthy team. They just, for whatever reason, stubbed their toe, which happens a lot this season, as we can see. If you're not ready to play, you're going to get beat by just about anybody. It'll be a challenge, and it'll be definitely a milestone. If USF can win it, they would be 4-0 in the conference. That has happened just once, 2017, in the history of the program. So can't diminish that. It would also make for a 5-game winning streak, which is the longest one in quite a while. So there's milestones falling by the week for this program. But the way they've been able to get to this point is just focus on what the task is ahead and not get carried away with anything. I would say psychologically and mentally, this team has done a pretty good job of staying in where their feet are for all season, and that's another reason why they're have a good record.
Well, the last layer of this conversation of expectations is obviously the more they've won, now your head coach's name is getting mentioned in other jobs that are already open, Florida, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, places like that. How is, and the guys in that locker room understand that, and Alex
Yep.
Golesh knows that. He probably hasn't publicly commented much about it, but that's weighing on his mind to some degree. Who knows how much? How do you think that plays into this whole equation as well?
I don't think it's played in that much. It's not like it's some kind of distraction. He did actually address it last week. Somebody asked him in the press conference, and he said
Coach
a couple
speak,
things.
coach
Well,
speak.
coach speak, but a couple things he said, and we'll see if it proves true. He said, I came from nothing, a Russian immigrant. They came to America with not much money in their pockets. He's grinded his whole career, worked up from grunt jobs to where he is now. And he said, I've got more money than I could have ever imagined right now. So is he one of the rare people in America that don't let the almighty dollar decide everything they do? We'll see.
That's
We
right.
can't answer that till the end of the season, but at least that's what he's saying. And the other thing he's saying is, regardless of whatever jobs might be out there, he's got a good job right now at USF. And he says, and I believe this to be true, that he has gotten everything that he's asked for resource wise. They're building a new stadium.
Yep.
He's got the money he needs to recruit, to take care of his staff, to build all the infrastructure. So it's not like this is a bad job. And let's say Alex Golesh does go somewhere else. This is a great job for somebody.
Right.
An
Right.
absolutely great job for somebody, and I think it always will be with the infrastructure that's in place. So you can't predict these things. It remains to be seen.
Yep.
They still have to play their schedule. They still have to win games. So it's early in the process, but the fact that his name is being linked to all these jobs, that's a positive because it means there's a good coach in place here and a good staff. So that's better than the alternative for sure.
A couple more and I'll get you out of here. Leading into that whole process of the program, you got a new AD on board. Rob Higgins came on board about 4 weeks ago, something like that. Give me a sense. I know you probably know Rob a little bit. He's from the Tampa Bay area. He's been
Yep.
involved with Tampa Bay sports for a long time. Give me a sense of how do you think Rob Higgins is going to fit into the USF community, and what things he'll be able to do from a business perspective and a fundraising perspective to even make things even better.
I think Rob's going to fit in great. The first time I met Rob, he was a ball kid at USF basketball back in 1992. So he has truly come up the ranks. He became a manager. He became an assistant athletic director here. And then, of course, the work he did with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission is well known, attracting all these great events to our area. Rob is a diehard USF Bull, green and gold, bleeds it like nobody's business. He loves this place. I think one thing he'll definitely be able to do, maybe not immediately, but in time, whatever money, whatever funds are available in this community to support this program, he's going to get to them. He's got a contact list that would blow you away. He knows everybody in town, and he's loved and trusted by everyone in town. So I think he's going to help elevate this USF program to an even higher level. And I know he is fully aware of everything going on. In other words, if there's a football coach being highly sought, which there is, he knows about it. He's got a plan, and it's been addressed. So these things are not left to chance. He's not going to be caught by surprise by these things. So I think Rob he's got a lot of things on his plate, obviously, but he will do everything in his power to make sure this program reaches the highest level. I have no doubt about that.
All right, for our fans outside of the Tampa Bay area, tell everybody where they can find the broadcast on Saturday. What is it? A 3:30 game Saturday?
It's a noon
Okay.
Eastern game, which means it's an 11 a.m. Central game, which isn't great.
Right.
I mean, I
Right.
think the players like maybe get road games. They like to get to it. And the positive thing that's much different than North Texas on a Friday night a few weeks ago, we landed at 4:15 a.m. Jason, which was not a ton of fun.
Wow.
So at least this one we'll be back home at a reasonable hour regardless. So that's a good thing. But we'll fly into Memphis on Friday. Get settled in, and then we're going to go on early on Saturday morning, and it'd be like we're hardly there. Maybe we'll get a good barbecue in once. That's about it. But other than that, it's a speed game we're playing, and sometimes you got to create your own energy for those early games, and sometimes you start slow. The Bulls have got to find a way to get going quickly because it's 11 a.m. is a little early, although they do practice in the morning.
Yes.
So they're accustomed to that, but 11 a.m. is an odd time to play a football game. But that's what we have for ESPN to accommodate it.
All right, last thing. Jim Lauk, the longtime voice of the Bulls, just announced that he's going to be retiring at the end of the year. Just give me a little perspective of Jim. He's been in this program for a long time, since its inception, and I know you've worked many a game with Jim. And just give the fans who maybe don't know Jim very well a little sense of Jim Lauk.
Yeah, well, I've known Jim since 1983, when the day he walked in here doing basketball games, and he did basketball for years. But the really amazing thing is he's done every single football game. He hasn't missed one since the program began in 1997. He is a true professional. He is very good at what he does. I work with him. I'm on the sidelines, and I'm talking to him in the headset constantly. He wants information, so I'm essentially giving him a play-by-play to help him spot the ball and spot the ball carrier. So we're in constant contact. But Jim is wonderful at giving me my space on the broadcast, and we couldn't ask for a more fundamentally sound broadcaster and a guy that has done it for a number of years. So we're all very happy at all the attention that Jim is getting. Wish him all the best for beyond this. But and I'm hoping that the football team will cooperate and send him out with a conference title. That will be kind of cool.
And if you win a conference title, you'll probably be playing in a playoff game somewhere. You might be in South Bend or Tuscaloosa or wherever, but
Yeah. Can
you'll
you
be
imagine
playing
how fun
playoff
that could be?
football.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing to think about the possibilities, but we're not there yet. But the Bulls are capable of doing it if they take care of business. So we could have some really cool stuff ahead for this USF football program.
Well, Joey, keep up the great work with football, and Joey will be part of the basketball broadcast as well. You can listen locally here in the Tampa area, Q105 on the radio broadcast. Keep up the great work, Joey. Get a W in Memphis. Don't eat too much barbecue. And if you do, make sure you take care of your business before the game starts.
Yes, exactly.
Enjoy the
Yep.
Liberty Bowl, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jason.